Yeah. All right, we live. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Um, Big shout out to all my subscribers. Been growing slowly but surely, and really appreciate everything that all the positive words and the support that I've been getting from the community. Um, Sad news, I lost my job on Thursday, which means technically I'm a full time YouTuber now while I look for new work. I never really intended to start YouTube full time. It was always a part time thing for me to do as I did my regular day job. But, you know, sometimes there's ups and sometimes there's downs, but all we can do is keep forward and keep the positivity going and always look for what can I do next to maintain the status quo. And maintaining the status quo for me means providing for my family and keeping things going all the time. So full time YouTuber now while I look for new work. One of the things that has always interested me was a study and work with me session. So this one is going to be for all the content creators. This one is going to be for all the people that looking for new work and just gotta make sure everything right. Looking for new work and keeping pushing forward, always growing, always learning, always seeking to do better. That's what I'm all about. And if that's what you're about, hop in, jump in the chat, study with me, work with me, grow with me as I build out this YouTube channel and keeping it jiggy. That being said, this is obviously the first time that I'm live streaming, so give me a little chance to familiarize myself with everything that's going on. Just did a crash course in OBS because I realized that I just can't go live on YouTube without using the built-in webcam on my Mac. Obviously, that's a poor quality. I want to stream to you guys in 4K, full HD, 2160p, right? So I had to actually figure out what's the fastest way to get going using my camera, and that was OBS for Mac. It's free, so I just had to give myself a crash course and get everything set up and everything going. So I'm gonna set a timer at 10 past the hour. Right now we got 3 past. Just want to make sure the music and everything is playing and the stream is going. So bear with me, folks, as I figure this out. One of the things I've always learned in IT background is start where you are, and you know where I am right now is unemployed, right? So we should got some music here shortly. Yeah, yeah, feeling it, right? So here we go. I like it. I like the vibe. Like I said, I'm gonna try to do this more often. So let me get my watch off because my Apple Watch will be a distraction to me sometimes. So we can lock in and focus in for the next 15 minutes, and we're gonna work together, and we're gonna grow, and we're gonna achieve all of our goals. Do not disturb for 1 hour. Stay focused all the time. A little bit about me. I am in the IT field. I know some of you have seen me on YouTube here talking about YouTube growth strategies. A little bit about me. I worked in IT for over 10 years now. Well, way more than over 10 years, but for over 10 years in the United States of America. I moved to the United States in 2015. And started out as a technician. And from there, I grew through many different IT roles, which led me to management. And I switched roles from management and I got into data governance. And one of the things that I realized as being a manager, I love helping people. I love seeing people grow. I love helping people earn more money. I love helping people, achieve their goals, whatever those goals may be. Whether that is, make more money, be better at YouTube, or change jobs or grow your career. And when I moved from being a manager into a regular individual contributor role in data governance, and I had no more people to lead, it was just me working on projects and stuff, I realized that I really miss being there for people, being a coach, being a mentor, and being a role model. And it kind of had a hole. So that's why I ended up starting the YouTube stuff. People might say, well, oh, well, you don't have a lot of experience with YouTube. But I would argue that my skill set is really training, learning, and development. I am able to research information, gather information, and put it together in a digestible form that anybody can use it to be successful. And I'm sure that my subscribers have been getting a lot of value from the information that I've been providing. I've been providing real value, not some of the fluff that other people is providing. Tell you, oh, do these things, do this, so you can go viral. It doesn't really work like that. There's a lot that goes into YouTube, which I found that in researching what's happening on the YouTube and in researching successful businesses on the YouTube, a lot of the principles that I know from management and leadership, these big top content creators actually apply that to their situation and apply that to their channels, and they make a lot of money from it. And, you know, if you apply the principles that I talked about, whether that be communication, whether that be personal branding, whether that be leadership, coaching, or mentorship, continual growth, having a growth mindset, all these things lead to success in one way or the other. And I want to share that success with you. I want to share my experiences with you and give you some frameworks that we use in the corporate world that you can use right now, today, you know, to build a career, to build a business, to just to be successful, to grow. And you know, one of my pet peeves is entitlement. People always call me lucky for my successes. It rubs me the wrong way because I put in a lot of work to get to where I am today, even though I'm unemployed right now. But that's how it goes, you know, in business world. In the business world, there's contraction and there's expansion, and unfortunately this is a time of contraction, and when life gives you lemons, it make lemonade. So my part-time YouTube gig is going to be my full-time YouTube gig till I back up and running, or until maybe I become a successful full-time YouTuber, who knows. But you know, the first step in that is taking time out to focus on working on yourself, putting in the work, putting in the effort, and just staying focused. So this study and work with me is all about accountability and all about developing a growth mindset. So if those two things are what you're interested in, like, comment, subscribe, share, let people know that this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing it daily, because there's obviously everything that I do right now is not going to be able to stream live. I'm going to be thinking of a way how to do everything live, but you know, when it comes to like editing videos and stuff, I may not be able to do that while like streaming with music. But you know, I'm going to figure out, because I got a lot of time on my hands and I'm always about making the time as productive as possible. I wouldn't be at work anyway for 8 hours working for somebody else, helping other people build their dreams. So I'm gonna help myself build my dreams, right? So anyways, we got 10 till. I'm gonna set a 50-minute timer. There's some cool things I see other people doing. When I was researching the study with me, they have timers on screen, etc. I'm new to this software, so I just kind of muddling through, but so far so good. Like I said, I was able to get set up in 30 minutes or so. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a 50-minute timer on my Apple, on my iPhone right now, and then lock into at least 50 minutes of work, and then obviously break for lunch. And I may return this afternoon to do a full 2-hour session. That's what my goal is going to be, 2-hour work sessions. We're going to do 50 minutes, 10-minute breaks, chat, answer questions, 50 minutes, 10-minute break, chat, answer questions, and then we shut on the screen. I'll try to do this daily. Like I said, some of the things that I do may not be able to be done daily until they get settled in. Still a lot going on with my former job, so I still gotta do some stuff there. So I might be actually going into the office and, you know, handing over everything that needs to be done and making sure that everyone has a smooth transition. But that being said, let's lock in for 50 minutes and let's get some work going. minute mark there for me, but I in the middle of a deep thinking process, so I'm not gonna start right now. I'm gonna just give it a few more minutes so they actually complete this thought, and then we go from there, right? Yeah, that feeling good. That feeling good. Yeah, what I'm working on today is I building out the intro for my next YouTube video. Um, and in my experience, I found that this is probably, outside the title and thumbnail, the intro is probably where you should spend the most time. It is where I spend the most time, right? Obviously, I just locked in just over an hour, and that's just on a 30-second intro. Imagine that. I spent an hour on a 30-second intro, and I'm not done. I'm far from done. How I usually do it is basically, I'm an AI person. Reluctantly, I went into the whole AI thing with a raised eyebrow, because I was like, oh, AI is always going to affect your creativity, but actually it's an actual really good tool that boosts my creativity. One of these live streams, I'm going to probably show you my system on how I leverage AI to boost my creativity. I'm not one that whole AI slop. I don't want AI to generate my video for me. What I want AI to do is I want AI to power it up for me based on specific frameworks which I've already learned and studied on my own, and I want to apply to my work. So it's basically my little quote saying, hey, remember the frameworks that you've learned, remember the frameworks that we've talked about. You're not adhering to these frameworks. So my intros take a lot of time, one, because I'm using specific frameworks, which I using the success framework from Chip and Dan Heath in their book Made to Stick, and then I'm also using the PCM framework, which discusses the personality types and the different personality types each person has. So if you know the 6 personality types, you're able to craft your communication to cater to personality types. So it's real simple, basic. I don't want to say math because it's English, but is simple, because the reality situation is, if you know someone speaks Spanish and you are able to speak Spanish, why would you try to speak to them in English? You speak to them in their language, and that's the power of the personality type. So when I'm creating my intros, I'm trying to craft my intros to speak to as many personality types as possible, and this is key for building influence. This is key for negotiating with people. Leading back to a lot of my experience, I'm in data governance, or I was in data governance before I got laid off, which means one of my core responsibilities and one of my core functions is telling people to do things that they don't want to do, which means they have to explain to them why they need to do these things. And I can't tell them what to do. I can only coach them on what they should do to make things better. Obviously, that's the hard part of defining a policy or trying to implement a policy, which is getting people to see your way of thinking. And my job is not necessarily my way of thinking, it's the framework's way of thinking, because that's what I do for a living. I apply ITIL frameworks into businesses or organizations in order for them to succeed by using these frameworks. And these frameworks are proven to work, and that's why they're considered industry standards. So what my job basically is to figure out how to communicate to people and to be able to say, hey, here's the frameworks, here's why the framework exists, here's why the policy exists, here's the downfalls to the policy, and here's how the policy is going to benefit you, right? I take it from that approach. Obviously, there are other people that can do it in a situation where they don't have to take that approach. They can basically just tell people what to do, but that's not how you build relationships. You don't build relationships by just telling people what you can do. Even though you're in a position of authority and can do it, it's much more beneficial to be able to negotiate with people and communicate to them in their language, right? So that's why I spend a lot of time on my intros, and that's why I lean on AI to help me stick to my frameworks and to help me stick to my process. So thank you again for tuning in. Obviously, this one was a little bit rough. This is going to be the first one. I'm probably going to be doing this daily, maybe twice a day. not sure about that yet. Obviously, I gotta check my schedule and see the things that I need to do, because I need to incorporate job hunting as well. Although I'm going to be going at it full time, I still need to, make sure I have all of my bases covered. That being said, we're gonna shut down, and maybe you see me this afternoon, maybe you don't, but you're definitely gonna see me tomorrow, because the work has to continue, and we have to continue to grow. We have to continue to hold ourselves accountable, and give thanks for tuning in. Gratitude is the attitude all the time. And have a good one.